Hi friends, welcome back to Nearly Same Games. I'm Neil, and this is the Armory Report. Now last night was a classic constructed league, which means 3 rounds, and this time I took a girl Levia out for a spin. Now I'm using the Man Sant deck list. He has a couple great videos about what his latest deck list is and how to use it, how to sideboard for it, and I'll link that below. Definitely go check that out. It's very interesting. And this deck is very interesting. I really enjoy Levia's playstyle. I'm still learning a lot about how to play it, but it's very interesting, and I'd like to find out more. So the matchups, the first round, I was paired up against a Bolton, and I think this was a little bit of a newer player to Bolton, and I didn't know how to drive Levia very well, and so this was a lot of learning for both of us, trying to figure out how we play our decks. This was an unoptimized build of Bolton. It was a Sabres build without Courage of Blade Hold, so big combo wasn't there. I think that he was just kind of trying it out to see how it played, and it actually was still pretty difficult. We weren't doing I wasn't getting the big turns. He wasn't getting the huge turns either. We were kind of plinking back and forth at each other. And overall, it was very slow going. So we ended up going to time on that, and that was a tie. I think we were both still at 13 life, so we were both playing our decks wrong. But that's fine. Just trying to get to learn things, how things go. So round 2, I ended up with a bye, but I had somebody else come in, and we were able to play a round. And he was trying out his new Bravo deck, and he was running some of the new cards, the Terra Sunders, the Thumps, and I had a real difficult time with this. I wasn't, I think I went into Blood Debt a little bit too soon. I think that you kind of want a little bit more of a slow roll when you're starting out. You want to get a bunch of cards in the graveyard so you have plenty of fuel when you start throwing out the attacks that have exile 3 cards or banish 3 cards. And then once you get started rolling with Blood Debt, you really want to keep pushing through and make sure that you are using Levia's ability and turning off Blood Debt every turn. You'll find that the deck builds up Blood Debt pretty quickly. It's fine. There's plenty of cards that banish 3 cards from your graveyard. I would say it is pretty consistent, but you can run into hands that don't work, or you have to block too much. I think I got hit with a Crippling Crush, and my options are: do I take it? Do I try to block? I think one of those I decided to take it, and I didn't realize I was discarding 2. I think he had a pummel. Maybe it was a thump with a pummel. Anyway, you have to be very careful. And again, once you start going down this Blood Debt route, you have to consider what your blocks are going to mean for turning off Blood Debt next turn. And I was running the Hope Merchant's Hood instead of the Ebenfold. Yeah, it was an interesting match. Eventually, I took big hits. I couldn't do anything about it. Blocking out, I think I did a big block, but the big block meant that I didn't have the cards in my hand. I needed to be able to banish something, and I ended up dying to a massive Blood Debt when I was at, I don't know, 1 life or something. But interesting interesting match. I definitely learned some things. So round 3, I went back to having an opponent that was actually in the Armory event. This person was running another Bravo, and I wasn't hit with the crippling crushes right away. And this time I was very conscious of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to sequence things. I had a couple unmovables that I brought in from the sideboard, and I was very cautious to watch my attacks and make sure I got those unmovables into my arsenal, and that paid off a lot. I was able to block for 8 when I needed to. I think I dropped the husk a little bit early, but it was to block a big attack, and I decided that taking 1 or 2 blood debt here or there was okay. I really focused on making sure that I was utilizing like my claws, the blood rush bellow turns, make sure you're swinging both of those claws, and really be careful when I was starting out to make sure that I was getting cards in the graveyard, and there were plenty of 6 powers, and I was ready to, when I was ready, I decided to start taking on blood debt and start doing the banished 3s. Once you start that, it's just, you have to do that all the time, and that's just your life now. And I had enough cards in the graveyard. I think I missed a couple of times where I didn't hit a blood debt card, but I still hit a 6 power card, or it was early enough in the match that that was still okay. And really focused on making sure I got those big attacks, and I lined up my hand. Levia has really expensive attacks, and you really have to pay attention to what attacks you're gonna do, and how to get that go again attack, and then follow that up with another big attack, and being very careful on how you're sequencing that, and really deciding your turns. It makes blocking a thought experiment that you have to decide how it was going to go. I managed to fire off all 3 of my endless maws, all swinging in for 9, and 9 is a good amount of pressure in one hit, so I like those. I did take, I was at 11, and I took a big hammer hit attached to a pummel, and went down to 1. I think he went down to 2, and I managed to plink another life off of him, so we were sitting at 1 and 1. And I was getting nervous because I had a hand that was, I had 2 blue Deadwood Rumblers in hand. I had a blue Wrecker Romp, and a Blood Rush Bellow, and I had a red Graveling Growl in my arsenal. And he just did a setup turn, and he played his auras, and I'd hit him big for a big turn the previous turn. My concern was I only had the Deadwood Rumbler that would only even potentially allow me to banish a card to turn off my blood debt. And by then my blood debt was 8. I don't know, it was a lot. And so I was able to play my Blood Rush Bellows. I used the Wrecker Romp to play my Blood Rush Bellows. I knew I had 2 6 power cards in hand, so they're both the same, so that I knew what that was going to discard. I drew into a blue Dread Screamer and a red Graveling Growl, and I felt like I had a chance then. I threw the Dread Screamer at him. It's only a 4 attack, but it allowed me to banish 3 cards. I hit the 6, and so it got go again. And I said, well, I'm here. I'm going to roll my Scabskins, and I ended up rolling a 5. And so I was able to pitch the other Dread Screamer and throw both of those red Graveling Growls at him for 7 each. So that was an 18-point attack. He, of course, didn't have enough to block all that, and I was able to win that match. I'm still not very good at rolling Scabskins, knowing when to. I think that I need to be more aggressive with it in the beginning turns, but there were a lot of turns where I would have blocked something previously, and I really only had one thing to throw back at him anyway, so the extra action point wouldn't have been necessarily a great thing. I didn't have enough pitch to get the claws to throw at him. So a lot of things were block a little, attack a little, but my attack a littles are 6 points of damage always, and or bigger. And so I think that is an interesting thing, but I need to work on using my Scabskin leathers earlier, and in the early couple turns, if you roll a 1, maybe it's okay to just arsenal and pass. As you get later, you want to roll Scabskins when you have a big hand that you can really push damage, and you have the Gambler's Gloves for backup. Once the Gambler's Gloves are popped, that's it. No more rolling Scabskins. It's too risky. You're going to have built up some blood debt by then, and you don't want to miss turning off blood debt. That is the most important thing as you get later. So I think that the deck was a whole lot of fun to play. It is, it's a little bit like living on the razor's edge there, and you're always a little concerned that you're not going to be able, something's going to happen, you're not going to be able to turn off blood debt. I think it'll be interesting to see how we go into playing the new heroes and seeing where they go with that. So that was the Armory event for this week, and next week we have another Commoner event, and I'll be playing my Levia Commoner deck for that, and hopefully I'll get that all foiled out for that event, because it's the cheapest format, so I want the most expensive deck. And yeah, so that has been the Armory Report, and we'll talk to you next time.